Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Grab your coffee. Let's talk about 90 Day Fiancé, what now? Now, you remember last time we saw Rachel and Lucy trying to get on the plane to go visit John. And there was something wrong with her passport. The name didn't match or something odd. So she had like 20 minutes to get this straightened out. And she talked to several people. Finally, the last person she got, thank goodness, got on the ball, fixed it. So she's actually running to the plane with this baby and her luggage. This poor woman, oh my gosh. So it's been 210 days since they last saw each other. And he decides that, Lucy's, what, two and a half, so she can kind of remember things. And she knows who he is from the FaceTiming and talking to him. He's like, well, why don't we do Christmas? Very good idea. Decorate, have a nice dinner, and enjoy that. I mean, she'll probably remember that, or hopefully she will. So, Rachel lost her job too, so this could be their last visit for a while. So, then we visit Robert and Annie. Now, you remember him. He's in Florida. He has custody of his youngest son, who is 4. Now he's 5, but that's irrelevant. He has 5 kids with 4 different women, and he doesn't know where Bryson's mom is. He doesn't say anything bad about her. He just says, she's not in his life, and it sounds like it's her choice, not, anything he could have said. So when he meets Annie, and she comes up, and apparently she had also talked to Bryson, because, she comes off the plane, and he runs to her, and she's like, oh, where's my baby, and they're, they really love each other, those two. It's really cool. But he says, they got married, and he says, it's at least a year for a child, because he can't afford it. And, he doesn't make a lot of money. He was an Uber driver, and I don't know if he still does that or if it's something different, but I don't know that he's really cheap or just cautious, because, he has a lot of expense. He has to pay for his son's school, apartment, the utilities, the car payments, insurance, all of that, until she can get a green card and contribute. Which, she's taking care of the little boy, so she is contributing, but, So, she takes him to school, and then she goes to the candy store, because the next day is his birthday, and she wants to get him some treats. And her friend calls, and, how you doing, And she says she don't know, she has nausea and stomach ache. Her friend says, well, maybe you're pregnant. She says, oh, how about if I'm pregnant? Oh my, he might be mad. I don't know if this is good or not. Now, she had said before that she couldn't have children, okay? Her cycles were irregular, or she had some other issues, and it never had happened, so I don't know if she actually was told by a doctor, no, you can't get pregnant, or she just assumed she couldn't because it hadn't happened yet. Well, you're with a man, Annie, that can look at a woman and she will be pregnant, probably with twins. So chances are you are. So then we find Corey and Evelyn. Now, she's in Ecuador, and he has been up in, I think, Washington. His father passed away, and he stayed up there with his mom for a while, and went back to Ecuador, and then came back up to make some money to bring back with him. And he's pretty much given her an ultimatum of, he has a 90-day visa there, and maybe a 90-day extension, and they need to get married in that time. And she's not excited about it at all. And it's almost like she doesn't even want to think about it. But he heads back down there, and he says it's amazing and it's stressful because he doesn't know what will happen. Because apparently, we know they have issues, but apparently he recognizes that they have issues too. So he rents a room in Engabo, which is the town that she lives in. He rents a room in the same town that she lives in, the same town that he bought a bar for her to own because he can't own property. Yeah. He's poured his life savings plus into this, and he's renting a room. Okay. Alrighty. Annie and David, they go to the Asian market. Now, when they met, he had just gone through a divorce, had a stroke, and lost his job. And he had a very good friend who had money. Friend said, hey, let's go on an adventure. And he's like, okay. And they went to Asia, and he met Annie. And she says, one thing she loved about him was he made her laugh. And they do get along well, and they laugh a lot together. And that's good. Well, she didn't like their first home, which was, I think, a manager's apartment in a storage unit. And, of course, he wasn't working. They didn't have a lot, and, that put a lot of stress. But she has her green card now, and they are in Scottsdale, Arizona, starting a cooking company. And I guess she had been doing some online cooking lessons, if you would, for Thai food, which sounds really good. I hope, she's doing well. And he says he wants a hair transplant because it is getting pretty thin up there. She doesn't know why. I mean, it's cool. He wants to look better for her, but, she's like, I'll support him if he wants to do it. It doesn't really matter. So then we have Tiffany and Ronald at the baptism for little baby Carly. Now, he has apologized for his a-hole attack the last time when he said, the baby was staying there, whether she did or not. He's come to accept the fact that, he needs to come to the U.S. for her, the baby, and for little Daniel, so he doesn't have to be totally uprooted and not see his friends and so on. So their future is unsure, but they did apply, and the visa was accepted, and now is being reviewed. So, there's a very good chance that he will be able to come. I hope they have an attorney working on this and in their corner. I mean, you about have to with everything anymore. So David and Annie have friends coming over for test tasting for their new company. And he's nervous about the hair transplant. But on the plus side, the food is a success, which I knew it would be because I've watched her cook. She knows what she's doing. She knows her way around a kitchen. So, back to Corey and Evelyn. Evelyn doesn't want to marry because of their problems. So they meet at the beach. He says it's not easy not knowing where they stand. And he wants to work into marriage. And she's not sure. She asks for trust. And they both hope they can fix things. So that's a good sign. They want to fix it. But, Evelyn has said many times she does not want to get married. That's not the life she dreams of. And he's more or less pushing her into it. And I just don't know how it's going to go. You give somebody an ultimatum, you have to be prepared that they're going to just say, no, see ya. So Rachel and John, he's watching the baby so she can relax. She says, with having this baby and him being in England, she hasn't had a break. She doesn't get to just sit back by herself. She has no me time. So she's taking advantage of that, laying in bed, reading a book. And he's taking care of Lucy, and he tries to read to her, but he has no children's book. So he says, well, take a bath, and then, you can go to bed. Well, first she doesn't want to go to the bath. And then she doesn't want to get out of it. And she's just having a typical terrible two tantrum, And he's kind of, wow. But he handles it, and lets her rest. So good for him. So Robert and Annie have dinner. And after dinner, Bryson goes to play. And Robert says, you didn't hardly eat anything. What's wrong? She says, oh, I haven't felt good. My stomach hurts and I have nausea. He says, all the time? She says, well, yeah, kind of, but morning is the worst. Now, he's kind of giving her the side eye. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So she takes a pregnancy test and shows him the results. It says positive. We knew that. Robert, you knew that. That's why you were side-eyeing her. You knew. This isn't your first rodeo. You know the signs. But grasping at straws, he says, these tests aren't always accurate. We need to go to a clinic so we can find out for sure. And if you are, we'll find out how far along. It's logical. But Robert, I don't think anybody you have been with has had a false positive on a pregnancy test, ever. Ever. Okay? So he doesn't look real happy, but, it's just one of those things. You're just going to have to accept it. It happened. Here you are. Work with it. And I think they do love each other, and they really seem good together. And he couldn't have asked for a better stepmom for his little boy. So it'll be interesting to see how this pans out, but yeah, she certainly is pregnant. So congratulations to them. And if you enjoyed this at all, please like, share, comment, subscribe to my channel, and I will see you next time. Bye.